Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Producer Place. Today I'm going to run you through my song session colors, the general process that I do to organize my sessions. I think colors are kind of undervalued sometimes, but they make going through a project quite fast because you're not looking at text, you're looking at colors. So I'll run you through it. I can't remember if I introduced myself. I'm Nick Rollo. I'm a producer and mixing engineer from Australia. Welcome to the Producer Place. I hope you're doing well. There's a few freebies linked below, such as a vocal mixing cheat sheet, a bunch of Studio One presets, a free Studio One course. There's a lot of stuff. You can check it out below. Let's get into the video. So this is a completely uncolored session. It's perhaps unrealistic because generally you have randomized colors, so it looks terrible though. The summer, it comes and goes. I count down the days with my fingers. I feel like this life's starting to go. I don't know what is the trigger. This is just a little song that I'm working on for myself. Not really the point of the video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Now, I've already kind of said why I think colors are important, but it looks terrible. If I'm in a mixer, well, for some reason this hasn't properly discolored, but if I'm in the mixer and I'm trying to find my drums, like what is it? I'm trying to find the guitars. I'm looking at the bottom. It's just not that fast. And if you have a fader of any form, I've got a fader port 8, the top little buttons, these little buttons, they will show the color of what you're looking at. So, I mean, it's not ultra clear, but they will be slightly tinted. So if I change the one that it's set onto, say, yellow, and then I go there, like you can see the slight difference, right? And then when it's selected compared to that, there's a difference. So those are some good reasons why we should color. Now, these are just my kind of colors. I've just decided these for whatever reason. It doesn't really matter. It's completely personal preference, but this is what I do. And on top of that, I also have a particular ordering of my sessions. So I'll go through the ordering first. So main vocals go at the top, then underneath them backing vocals. And what would generally be the case, right? It would be lead vocals, lead effects, backing vocals, then backing effects. Then I have my drums, my bass, my guitars, acoustics. Acoustic and guitar ordering can change, I guess, depending on what's the main feature, but guitars under bass, then keyboards, synths, strings, brass, all that stuff can kind of exist down there, and then lastly, effects. And I often have the sample manager by ADSR right at the bottom just to get samples pretty quickly. That is my ordering. That's pretty consistent. That's usually what it looks like. So not only do I know where to look in kind of chronological order, but I also know the colors. So colors. Lead vocals for me, I do white. And why I do these things, these colors, I really don't know. I just decided, and that's kind of just become it. Effects channels are colorless. And same with buses, I keep them colorless so that I know that they're effects channels or buses or VCAs. Backing vocals, I do a kind of light green. I have a Stream Deck, which I've got like a little folder in it called Session Prep, I guess, and I have all like my main things: vocal, backing vocal, drums, bass, guitar, acoustics, synth, keys, strings, brass, effects. So drums are red, and so that includes percussion as well. Percussion and drums, all the same thing, red. Bass is a dark blue. Guitar is kind of a lighter blue, and acoustic is just a different shade of blue. They're all kind of interlinked because I do a lot of work with like bass guitar and guitars, so it's a kind of similar shade to my mind. Keys are a pink color, synths are purple, and finally effects are yellow. Now there's strings and brass, so I'll just do it on the sample manager. My strings color is like a kind of a purpley blue, and brass is a similar color to the keys. Now, I'm not working with brass and strings as often, so it doesn't really matter as much. And as I said, these colors are just my tastes. They do change sometimes, like particularly like keys and acoustics and stuff like that. They do change from time to time. It's just about organization. When I look at this, it just makes a bit more sense to me. And this is just the channel colors as well. So you can get into different things based on what the section is. And that is another thing that I do, which I guess might actually be kind of confusing, but it works for my brain. So drums, for instance, are red on the channel. And then when you go into the mixer, that didn't work properly, but they're red. Now, it might be red for the verse, but then when I want to do a different pattern, it might be a different color, and then say the next part might be a different color as well, if that was. So I'm kind of two color codes. You've got this side over here, which is what instrument it is, and then the patterns and parts are different colors based on if they're different parts, so I know what I'm looking at kind of across the arrangement. Now, you could definitely be clever and do just shades of red. So instead of changing color completely, you might like to just, that's not as obvious as I'd like. Yeah, you might just change the shade of red. Doesn't really work for my brain, but it's certainly an option. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, hit like, hit subscribe. Organization is key. You obviously want to be having fun and making creative decisions when you're mixing and producing, but just having a little bit of organization does kind of make things a little bit faster, particularly later on when you're trying to understand what you're looking at. If you haven't looked at it for a few days or weeks or months or years, it's important to do. Labeling is important as well. I've gotten a bit lazy with labeling, but if you write out what it is, it's easy to see what it is. Have a good one. Go check out those freebies. There's also a free 14-day trial of Auto-Tune Unlimited and DistroKid and stuff like that if you want to support the channel further. Go take a squiz, and I'll catch you next video. Goodbye.